YouTube? This is Aaron again with American Interviews. Today I'm out here at the Humboldt County Courthouse. Today is March 8th. It's the Women's March. And I usually ask the protesters what they're protesting for, but today I have a prompt for them. The prompt is, should abortion be considered health care? We're going to find out. All right, so today we are out here at the Humboldt County Courthouse. It is March 8th, and today is the Women's March. And I'm out here asking people the question, should abortion be considered health care?
I really think so, because there's been so many cases where doctors have waited because of the new administration has taken it away, and women have died because of it, and it's just not right. So, my sign says Supreme Court has taken away women's rights away in many states. And I know that Oregon, Washington, and California, we kind of stand together. When Roe versus Wade was taken away, our governor actually stood up and said, we are a state that protects women's rights, and any woman who comes over here is going to be protected.
Right.
And
just for clarification, when Roe versus Wade was, when they got rid of Roe versus Wade, every governor had to stand up and say their position on abortion because it went to the states. It wasn't a federal problem anymore.
that is very true. So a lot of states had to do that, but certain states decided that they were going to take it away. And for those women who have to travel thousands of miles just to get out of their state to get an abortion, makes it so much harder than getting it like right next door.
Right.
Yeah.
All 50 states, as of right now, you still can get an abortion, and especially through pills. You can get an abortion pill via mail in any 50 states in the United States.
I was not aware of that. I was thinking that the whole thing was that when you look at certain maps and they tell you, when I watch the news, it's like a lot of it is saying that it's being taken away.
Right.
So because Roe versus Wade was taken away June 24th, 2022.
Right.
And it was around for like 50 years.
Right.
So.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of fear mongering going on both sides of the political spectrum.
Yeah.
So a lot of the facts and things get confused and conflated with different issues. People will run with false headlines and can proclaim that as truth. And I think that happens on both sides.
I agree with that. And I'm just trying to make sure that women get the rights that they deserve.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say to the people who purport that abortion should not be considered health care because health care should make the people involved healthier, not terminate them?
Well, I am pro-choice, so I kind of want to agree on both sides. But where I stand is, I also feel like it's a woman's choice as well. I think between both parties who have this child should talk together and work out a solution that works best for them. And so pro-choice is in there, so we have the choice to choose. So if it's life or death and they're sitting there and the baby is killing them, the woman, I would give an abortion.
Right.
Right. I feel like it should be a conversation between the two parties at a table and talk about what their situation is and if it's feasible to bring a child into this life.
Okay. So let's put aside the life-endangering abortions for mothers. What do you think about elective abortions?
What do you mean by that? Like people just
Like choosing to have an abortion as a form of birth control, or choosing to have an abortion because they're not financially stable, choosing to have an abortion for any number of reasons other than the health care of the mother, like her life is not in danger.
Well, I still find that I still stand on pro-choice, and I still think that the two people were involved in this should have talked about it. But sometimes you can't have the second party when the person, was raped or something else happened to you, like you got.
Just one point on that. You said both parties. Are you talking about the man and the woman?
Well,
Because the man has no say whatsoever in the choice of a woman to get an abortion or not.
it is then ultimately the choice of the woman. That is true. But I feel like it should still be talked about with a significant other, because I feel like
Right.
a man should also have to say, in a way, to how if they want to bring the child in, like, what if they want to have a kid too?
Right.
And then suddenly the person that they're with is pregnant and they say, I want to keep the kid. I feel like it's, I don't know, it's a really hard decision. And I'm still for pro-choice. I think that they should have the choice or not the choice in all states.
I appreciate you saying that, for bringing the man, involving the man in that decision. I really appreciate you saying that.
Well,
'Cause I do think it's unfair that if a man does want to have the child but the woman doesn't, it's ultimately her choice and she can take his child away from him.
I don't want that for the man of any party. Like, say, if transgender or any situation whatsoever is in this, I kind of want them both to have the decision. But I want it to be across the board in each individual, in all states, that it's legal to get an abortion and you're pro-choice. You can get an abortion or not. And that's it. I just don't want it to be taken away for health reasons and decisions. Maybe you already had 3 kids and then a 4th one would be too costly on your family. Whatever the situation may be, I want there to be a decision for everybody to have the choice to either do it or not do it.
Including the fetus. Do you think the fetus deserves choice in this, so to speak, choice to live, the right to life?
I do have a right to life, but I also think that at that point, you're growing it in your own body. And I think that we should stop it before it gets to life term. So whatever these medicals decide, determine how long you should keep your baby for it to become life, then you can abort it. So that's a really tough one as well, because I do want to see kids being born.
Yeah.
But I also want there to be choice. That's where it comes really hard, because I want the other party to be able to speak up. I want the women to have the rights that they deserve. I want them to also be able to give birth and have a lot of kids in this community, because I know that right now the rate of birth is decreased.
Right.
Because a lot of women, especially me, decided not to have kids because that's my choice. And that's what I didn't want.
Yeah.
So I want to see every single side of the situation and look at every single party. And that's what makes it really hard when you talk about abortion rights, because there's so many different people that play in a role. And especially when it comes to the male and female party, who has the right to say that the baby isn't theirs?
Right.
And like get rid of it.
Right.
And that's the hard question that I think that men should be able to talk with their significant other, their party that they had a baby with, that now she's pregnant. They should be able to have some say in there as well. And I want to have a healthy and natural birth and everything to go well. We all want that.
Yeah.
And I just want it to be pro-choice and have them have the opportunity to say, hey, I've already had these many kids, or, oh, I don't want to have a kid. And have that right to choose as American citizens. That's it. It's just hard.
Yeah. You mentioned one thing about when life starts, or something that they should try to take care of it before the life actually starts. The majority of scientists and the consensus across this is that new DNA is created at conception, and that's actually when life starts. There are people and scientists and medical professionals that disagree with this, but the consensus across the majority is that life begins at conception.
I don't know about that.
I'm just statistics.
No, I believe in science.
It's not my opinion.
I believe in science, and I don't follow really a lot of religion. That's my choice. But I think if they want to, just abort it. That's their choice. Let them do it.
Is there a line that you would draw within a pregnancy to say then that after this line, it's not okay?
I'm not sure, where the line draws.
It's a big question, I guess.
It is a big question. If it's 16 weeks or if it's 6 weeks, as long as it's safe for your body to get an abortion. Until it's unsafe, don't do it. Yeah. So you follow your doctor's recommendations and try to go through what you need to do, and you make sure you get it before for your body to be safe enough to get an abortion. Yeah.
Last question, would you support late-term abortion?
How late are we talking about?
After 28 weeks is what's considered third trimester.
I want to say no, even though I still want to give it a choice. I know that's a hard one because some women don't know that they're pregnant. But at that point, you can still give birth to the baby. And I know that there's a lot of hormones and things that happen with women's bodies, and we get attachments because that's what happens with birth.
Right.
But you can, if you're not ready, you can give that kid up for adoption.
Right.
And there are safe places you can take an infant to after birth. Like they have fire stations, like Humboldt Bay Fire will take your baby, and if you don't want it anymore. And a lot of places in certain states have this locking mechanism where you put this baby in a little cubby, and then it shuts, and then this ringer goes off, and it alerts them right away, and then they're there in seconds, ready to pick up the baby and give it to a loving home. I know that putting a baby in the system maybe is not the best route, and that could be really hard for you to decide, but it might be the best bet for the life of your child.
Yeah.
And it might be even harmful on you more when the baby's grown significantly more. So it could be a risk at you and the baby itself, even though we say that giving an abortion, it's all risk, all involved for every party. But there's places you can take them.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for stopping to talk to me.
You're welcome.
And I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the sun. Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, it was good. Thank you. So today we're out here at the Humboldt County Courthouse. It is March 8th, and it's the Women's March today. Today I'm out here asking the question, should abortion be considered health care?
Absolutely. Women are people. Abortion is real. It always has been, and we need women to be safe. Of course.
Yeah. What would you say to those who would say that abortion should not be considered health care because health care should make people healthier and not terminate them?
Oh God, there are two sides to that, aren't there? I'm 75 years old. And abortion has been available to me my whole reproductive life. And I know women whose lives would have been ruined by an unplanned pregnancy. So, yeah.
What would you say to those who would say that the life of the baby is ruined when the abortion happens?
I don't think that's a baby yet. That's what I would say.
What brought you to this conclusion that you would consider a fetus not a baby?
Because as a woman, I'm in control. I have agency over my life. I want that.
Right.
And a baby, a fetus, at that early stage doesn't have that agency. Yeah.
Right. So it's agency is the main qualifier for you? Maybe? What would you say to people like that would say that people in a coma don't have agency? So should we just pull the plug on those people?
I don't want to have responsibility over that decision, and I don't want others to have responsibility over decisions in my life.
Right.
If it were someone in my life, I would have a right to have an opinion.
Right.
I don't have a right to have that opinion.
Yeah. There are some people that would say that there was a decision before the pregnancy that was made to engage in intercourse.
It wasn't one-sided, was it? Yeah, the woman's paying the price. No.
Right. And would you consider that choice before the pregnancy? Would you consider that to be equal in weight? The decision, like if you decide to have consensual, unprotected intercourse, and then it results in a pregnancy, the choice you made before that resulted in this outcome. So should you be able to take back the first choice?
Yeah, you should have Plan B from the pharmacy and be able to take that back. Yep.
So what would you say to those people from the people that this is not my opinion. I just push back from the other side.
Yeah.
So what would you say to those people who consider an abortion to be murder?
I'm really sad for you. I consider fully functioning human beings out living their lives in society to have precedence.
Yeah.
They have the choices. They should have the choices.
Would you consider life to be sacred?
I don't know. I mean, in this context, I don't know.
Well, you're talking about the agency of people walking around. Are their lives sacred?
Yeah, every life is important. It's important. The word sacred doesn't mean much to me.
Important, holds value.
Holds value. Yeah, holds value.
So you wouldn't consider a fetus to have value?
It might, and in certain contexts, absolutely. I can remember being thrilled by being pregnant.
So subjectively, not objectively, but people out here objectively have value.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They do.
Where do you think morality comes from? Where do you think the morality on this particular circumstance? Where do you think that comes into play?
That comes from the church, and we are now in a post-Christian society, and we're not who we were in the 1950s.
Right.
And so it's there was a lot of fear-based reasoning at that point. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you consider our society now to have no morality since we've moved out of this faith-based morality in our nation?
Oh no, not at all. I think that the people who are here today protesting are showing a high level of morality, and I think that that a lot of our elected officials right now, Donald Trump including, of course, no morality at all.
So
Don't care.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's all right.
I heard a lull there. So would you consider morality to be subjective?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't think that morality comes from some different place, like inside of us, outside of us? You don't think there's a such thing as an objective morality?
Well, I don't think there's one size fits all.
But people out here objectively have value.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They do. I don't think there's one size fits all.
Yeah.
I think that there are certain things that are objectively wrong. I do not count abortion among them. I count not caring about other people as being immoral.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not harming others, well, I think there's a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing. Statistics show that when polled, scientists and medical professionals that deal with this type of thing, abortion, biologists, the majority of those who were polled agree that new DNA starts at conception, and that's also when life starts. What would you say to those people?
Well, technically, I'm a nurse. I'm a scientist. Technically, yes, life starts at that point, but I don't consider that to have the same value and the same voting power as the people that are out here paying the bills and walking around on 2 feet.
Right. So children, they don't have voting power or pay bills. Are they considered not worth as much as adults?
No, they're worth all the same. Yeah. They just don't get to vote.
So then shouldn't babies also be considered the same weight morally and valued as children outside the womb, just because their place shouldn't determine their value? Wouldn't you agree?
No,
I
don't agree. No, I think that's a mass of cells, a mass of dividing cells that doesn't have consciousness, and no, I don't think they have the same.
You're also a mass of cells.
I am, but I have
so am
consciousness. Yeah, we have consciousness.
Right. So consciousness is the qualifier for you. Agency and consciousness.
Those are really significant in my life. Yes.
Yeah, but those aren't the only two factors for you.
In what's right and wrong?
Strictly talking about abortion, yeah.
I guess pretty much. Yeah. I'm a practical person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the question I've been ending with is there a line within a pregnancy that you would draw to then say after this point it is immoral to have an abortion?
I think that line has already really previously been determined. I can't define what that is, but they're traditionally abortions except for great need and medical reason have not been done past a certain point, and I don't know what that is.
Right. It's usually 28 weeks is when they are considered to be very rare, but the guidelines around reporting for statistics, it's voluntary. So it's said to be very rare, but the argument could be made that these people who elect to have abortions, or maybe not even elect, they just have an abortion because of medical reasons after the 28th week, that maybe they're embarrassed, there's shame associated with this, there's a stigma associated with this, so then they don't report these statistics. So these statistics go underreported, and the argument could be made that they're actually less uncommon than you would think.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
No, I don't believe that. As a former medical professional, the idea of I don't believe that there is a raft of doctors out there, providers who would jump on doing a late-term abortion for no particular reason, just sort of a whim. And as far as embarrassment goes, once a woman's pregnancy becomes obvious, by her 6th, 7th month, it's obvious. And so any kind of embarrassment or repercussions are already in the pipeline by then. It's too late for her to do something. And I don't think women seek abortions for embarrassment after that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being cordial, and I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time so much.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day. Thank you.
I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
All right. So today we're out here at the Humboldt County Courthouse. It is March 8th, and today is the Women's March, correct?
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
And the prompt today is, should abortion be considered health care?
Absolutely. There's no question about it in my mind. I've experienced one abortion, one case where if I'd had to, I would have wanted an abortion because I was very young and I had a Carnegie Foundation grant to India that I would have lost, which would have changed my life. I was a kid from Iowa. It would have changed my life forever.
Yeah.
And I have 2 children. I have after that had 2 sons that I love dearly. I wouldn't change for anything in the world.
Right.
So I'm not anti-having babies. I am in favor of women making choices about what they're going to do with their body. It isn't just giving birth.
Right.
It's 9 months of a baby inside you, and then it's all the internal changes that go on for years. A mother never loses a placenta contact with her child ever.
Yeah.
You're asking me to carry someone at that level that I don't want in my body? That's not fair.
Yeah.
And if men were having this problem, we would have solved it a long time ago.
You think so?
Oh, hell yes. You want somebody deciding every time you have sex that you could have your life ruined?
Right, but that's a different choice, right? Had the choice to have intercourse and then the choice to have an abortion. 2 different choices.
Fine, but you all, men are really interested in that first choice.
Right, right.
She's a babe. Swing.
Not very
Very, very interested.
second choice. And I'm not down on men. I'm just saying that this is both genders' problem.
Right. It is both genders' problem. You're correct. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have supported many children. Nobody, I don't think, cares more about kids than I do.
What would you say to those who would purport that the fetus or baby inside of a woman is a different body?
Tough shit. I don't give a damn. I'm sorry. It's my body. My choice.
Yeah.
Not yours, not the government's, mine.
I think that those people would agree with you that your body is your body, but what would you say to them about the baby's body?
Damn, I'm sorry. About what happens when the child is born. Who's going to spend the next 18 years feeding that kid, taking care of that kid, taking them to school, picking them up, loving them, hopefully, or ignoring them and putting them out in a dumpster? In order to be a good parent, you have to be willing to parent.
Right. Right. That's so true.
So I mean, I'm sorry, I have no sympathy with that point of view at all.
Yeah. When would you consider life to start?
When it gets born.
When it gets born.
It's nobody else's business until then. Mine, my doctors, nobody else's. Maybe my husband.
What would you say to the medical professionals and scientists that work within this field who have? Can I finish my questions? Those who have been polled in this field, the majority of the people who have been polled agree that life starts at conception. What would you say to those people?
I don't agree. And even if it did, I don't care. I want to carry a baby I want to carry. I don't want to ever force a woman to carry a baby she doesn't want.
Right.
Period. It doesn't matter to me. It's all garbage. A baby can't survive as a fetus. And this nonsense that women are having abortions at 9 months or 8 months, that's a lie. Women don't do that unless the baby's dead or their life is under control. Women make decisions to have an abortion within the first couple of months of pregnancy.
So is the qualifier for you the ability to sustain life on your own?
I have no qualifier.
Okay.
I would allow a woman and their doctor to make a decision about abortion, nobody else at all.
Would you support that throughout the entire length of a pregnancy, or would you?
What I tell you is it's bullshit. Women don't choose to have abortions in the last quarter of pregnancy unless there's something wrong.
Right.
It's too much. My God, your baby's out to here. You've carried it for 6 months. You don't do that. It's a nonsense argument.
Right. There are some people that would say, though, that the statistics surrounding late-term abortions are skewed because most of these reportings, or actually all of them, are voluntary. And some would say that if you are involved in a late-term abortion, there would be some sort of stigma or shame or something involved with that.
Women don't have late-term abortions unless the baby is dead or their life is threatened. That's the only two reasons women do that.
Well, these are underreported, so it would be hard to say that as a fact.
I'm not arguing with you about it. I'm telling you what I think.
Okay.
And I'm pretty damn sure of it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate your opinion so much, and I appreciate you being cordial and giving me a couple minutes of your day.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a good one. All right, so today we're out here at the Humboldt County Courthouse. It is March 8th, and today is the Women's March. And today I'm out here to ask the question, should abortion be considered health care?
Well, definitely. In our country, maternal mortality and infant mortality is one of the highest in the world for developed nations. Pregnancy is a complicated thing, and it should be handled between the doctor and the patient and her family. And we've seen locally, too, that it can go sideways, and women die if they don't get the care they need. Right. It's a really tough decision for a woman to make, and these men in Congress should have no say. It's health care. It should be guaranteed. We should all be guaranteed health care.
Right.
And why aren't we?
Right. What would you say to those who would say back to you that you were talking about how this kills women die from this? What would you say to those who would say that the baby dies every time?
Well, in abortion, they only do them up to a certain point, and the fetus is not viable. They cannot live outside of the mother. Right. And there are so many circumstances, from rape to abuse to a woman's inability to take care of a baby. I mean, there's just a lot of moral questions around it. And for people who stand out there in front of the Planned Parenthood sign and bitch about, it's murder, and it's not murder. And that's a false flag that the Republicans have pushed for decades.
You think it's a false flag?
Yeah, it's not murdering a baby. It's saving the mother's life in a number of ways. Maybe her health, but maybe her social standing. Maybe she has been raped. Maybe it's incest. I mean, there's a lot of abuse of women that happen.
So would you say that the qualifier for you would be viability?
No, I think it's a decision the woman needs to make. And unfortunately, a lot of times it is a medical reason. Right. But it's also an economic reason. And like I said, there's mental abuse. There's all kinds of abuse women live with and may not want to bring a child into that world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So would you say that you don't have a qualifier then for abortions, that they should just be allowed no matter what the circumstance?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is in most of the developed world, and that's how it was here for many decades, as it should be.
So is there a line within a pregnancy that you would draw to say then that after this point in the pregnancy that this is immoral or wrong?
No, it's up to the woman and her doctor, and nobody kills a baby at 9 months. I mean, that's another false flag.
I mean, there are reports of that happening for sure. And also the statistics of that is also that these are voluntary reports, so a lot of it goes underreported. So the fact that people say that this is more rare than people think is a little bit of a misnomer, because that the statistics are not properly reported.
I don't agree with that.
It's just statistics, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know where those statistics came from, but I would say that's if something like that does happen, it probably has something to do with the maybe a defect of the infant, the embryo or the child, whatever, the baby, or the mother's health.
Right.
So those are the main considerations they should take under consideration when it's later in the pregnancy.
Let's say the other side has granted that.
This guy's an imposter. He edits them to make complete.
I've
shreds.
never edited anyone out of context. Have you ever watched my
Everyone
channel?
follows him and tells people what I'm.
Have you ever watched my channel?
He smears.
Have
the
you ever watched my channel, sir?
He's trying to say that.
No, he's a trickster.
Have you ever watched my channel, sir?
He's a trickster.
No, he's never watched my channel. Obviously, I've never seen anything in context. I've never edited anything out of context.
It's too late. I already did.
He's a coward, too. He ran away. See that? That's all right. That's all right. I've never edited anyone out of context. Anyone that follows me knows this, and you can go back and watch every single one of my videos to see that I've never edited anyone out of context. All right, it seems as if things are fizzling out here. People are starting to leave. It's almost time to go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to see more of my content, don't forget to visit americaninterviews.org. You can get this cool t-shirt. It's very soft, very comfortable, very nice. You're definitely going to want one for summer. There's tank tops. We should put some shorts up on there. If you guys have any merch requests, let me know, and we can maybe get that on the store. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.